Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that.
Y'all don't remember the Georgia Southern game, do you?
You know, I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is.
Like rat poison. All right, so
It's Division One football. It ain't intramurals.
All right, welcome back to the Hoppy Huddle. We are live, and today we have got Week 3 predictions for y'all. We have got some great games coming up this weekend that I'm really excited for. We have got some big matchups. A&M, Notre Dame, Miami, USF, Tennessee, Georgia. Got the Backyard Brawl returns for the final time for the next
it's
couple going away. So
we got a lot of good matchups this weekend. We got some teams that are I mean, it's just gonna be a good weekend. It's always a good weekend in college football. Who are we talking about? Who we can hear?
Yeah.
So I don't even know where. I mean, it's we're starting to get in some conference games, which is good. You're gonna see Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, you're going to see, you're seeing some Big Ten teams starting to play some conference matchups. So you're starting to get that feel now of what it's going to be like. And, we're getting rid of I think this is the last weekend, really. I guess you still have a few of the FCS matchups, the cupcakes. I guess a few, but not many. And we're starting to really get the conference games. Clemson, Georgia Tech's a good matchup this weekend in the ACC. So, we're getting into it. So, I don't know. Where do you want to start today? I mean, you got any ideas where you want to go?
I think this is going to be a week where a lot of teams solidify what they are going to be for the rest of the year. They're like a proving test for a lot of uncertain teams that we'll find out and we'll go through. There've been, I don't think we'll get to Colorado, but there's this quarterback situation there is certainly interesting and see how that goes at the Colorado-Houston game.
Martin Luther Staub, you mean?
Yeah. I forget what his name is. Staub, yeah. But is he starting? Is he not starting? It's Schrodinger's quarterback. We don't know. But we have got a lot of good games to dig into, and we're going to talk about them. I'm going to give you our picks and some bets and get you all ready for the weekend.
Yeah, I think we'll start by the time the next couple of weeks, this week and maybe next week, we'll be 4 weeks in. And we will, like you said, we'll start to know who these teams are and who they're not and get a better sense. Because I think now, especially, you see like Miami, USF, we're going to get a sense of, okay, is Miami really good? Is USF good? What does that mean for the Florida loss? I mean, this week Florida plays LSU. We're going to get a sense of Florida and LSU. We're going to see how these things start. Vandy plays South Carolina. They both play Virginia Tech. One looked better than the other. What does that mean? We're just going to see now. We're starting to see how this all filters out. So
exactly.
Yeah. So all right, where do you want to go first?
I think we should go to South Bend first.
Oh, the night game. Okay,
the night game, and that is Texas A&M at Notre Dame. I think this is a huge matchup specifically for Notre Dame. A&M, they got a lot of big games in their schedule. So if they're going to make any sort of run, this isn't the end all be all. But I think for Notre Dame, this is kind of the are we legit this year test or not? Because you look at the rest of their schedule, and this is something a lot of people have talked about. The rest of their schedule is pretty cushy until you get to USC towards the end of the year. And if they lose this game, I just don't see a 10-2 Notre Dame getting in the playoff absent like abject chaos everywhere else. I think it would be highly unlikely. And so I think this is kind of a must win for Notre Dame. It's at home. You're going up against a A&M team that's looked good, but against some easier opponents, so maybe not quite as tested. That Marcel Reed, has he improved from last year? It seems like it against some lesser opponents, but he lit up lesser opponents a lot last year too. So it's kind of, we don't really know how that's going to go. I'm interested to see CJ Carr again with a little more, maybe against maybe not the best, edge rusher in the entire country, possibly with Ruben Bain. How does he look against a good, but maybe a defense comparative to Miami? We'll see. I'm interested to see can Notre Dame run the ball better? Is that this could tell us a lot about Miami as well. This kind of a comparative game, and so there's a lot of takeaways we can get out of this game. But what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean Texas A&M, they really haven't played anybody yet. I mean they UTSA and Utah State, and they gave up over 20 points in each of those games. I think defensively they've been a little bit of, I don't want to say a disappointment, but it hasn't been the effort you would think from a team that theoretically that was going to be the strength of their team. I mean, against those kind of opponents, you would have. I mean, we've seen games in the first couple of weeks from teams, the Florida States, even Alabama last week, where the defenses, or Nebraska, we were seeing goose eggs by teams when they're playing those lower level competition.
Yeah.
When your defense is supposed to be your calling card and you're giving up 20 points against those, I'm a little concerned. Now, offensively, they've scored over 40 points a game, but again, look at the competition. So I don't know that we've really been able to figure out.
I don't think we know what Texas A&M is.
Do we? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I think we don't know.
No, I don't think we have any clue what they are. This will be their first big test. And then the flip side, Notre Dame, our big disappointment in the Miami game was, are they going to run the ball better? They just didn't run it against Miami very well.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love was gone. I mean, a ghost. So is this the right defensive line where you're going to be able to run against, or are they going to put it all on CJ Carr again? I think we feel like that CJ Carr is, still a freshman. Is he going to make mistakes? This to me would be where Mike Elko could take advantage. But I do think Notre Dame's defense was good. I thought they were good against Miami, and I thought Miami played well. That was a highly played game. If you go back 2 weeks ago, that was not a Notre Dame played poorly, Miami beat them. I thought those were two teams that played really well.
It looked different than LSU Clemson, where there's a lot of issues you could find on both sides of the ball.
So I look at this game. It's at Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame needs us, because I think you said it right. If Notre Dame doesn't win this, they could go 10-2 and be on the outside looking in. Now, I think that's going to include a victory against USC, and I think you and I have disagreements over USC. I think USC is going to be pretty good this year, and I think that'd be a good win. However, you don't want to be 10-2 and depending on a softer schedule and waiting for the committee. I don't think this is going to be a problem today. I think Notre Dame's going to beat Texas A&M. Give me the lights at Notre Dame. Give me that touchdown Jesus in the background. The spread's 7. I don't believe, let me check my notes here. I was not going to bet this game. It could be closer than that, but I feel pretty good that
it moved to 6.5.
It did move to 6.5. Okay. So it's a 6.5. Boy, that's a big move. I don't know who.
7 to 6.5 is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I'm not a believer yet in Texas A&M. I think that their defense worried me. I'd like to see Marcel Reed do this against our good defense at Notre Dame. I don't think it's happening. I think Notre Dame wins this game.
I think so too. I think this will be a kind of a low scoring game. I think the defenses are better than the offenses in both cases. And I would expect probably Marcel Reed and CJ Carr to probably make some mistakes against these tough defenses. I am interested to see, A&M brought in all those transfer receivers, including that guy from went to Alabama to Louisville to now he's at I said Notre Dame. I meant Texas A&M.
Yeah.
What was his name? Concepcion, right?
Yeah, he went to North Carolina State.
North Carolina State. Yeah, and then to Texas A&M. So I'm interested to see how he does against some better defenses. He has lots of potential, and that could really improve their passing game if he takes off. I have Notre Dame here as well, in a low scoring game. I don't have a good feel on whether or not they're going to cover or not. My guess is probably not. 20-14 kind of feels right to me. I kind of feel like this is going to be real low scoring. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 27-24. I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at. I think I have Notre Dame winning, but
I think so. And then that sets Notre Dame up for even if I think if they beat a Texas A&M team who we don't know how good this team will be, then that gives you at least one more game, maybe against USC. But Notre Dame boxed themselves in with I think the Miami game is going to turn out to look better and better as the season goes on. And I think a 10-2 Notre Dame team with a close loss on the road at Miami will probably still be able to.
Yeah, I'm starting to think you may have been right about Miami. I think.
Well, we're going to see Saturday night.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Why don't we talk? Why don't we talk about that
Miami?
Game? Yeah.
Let's talk about the Cinderella, the darling of the dance, USF Bulls. They beat Florida, they beat Boise State, and now they've got the next giant to slay to stake their claim as state champions in the state of Florida. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the train ends here. I believe in Alex Golish, and I think he's going to be a great future coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, or some mid-tier SEC school that I could see. But I don't think that I think Miami and Mario's weaknesses on the big stages may actually be his strength when it comes to playing a team like USF, because Mario's tendency is going to just be able to line up, and his dudes are bigger than your dudes, and they're going to beat you averaging 3.5 yards a carry and, smother you. And I think, what's allowed USF to win in these other games is by, mistakes by Billy Napier and, an abject, horrible offensive by Boise State. Right. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can out game plan the other dudes being stronger than you. I think you have to have them make the mistakes. And I think, Mario does have some game management issues, but I think his kind of style leans to a more surefire victory. However, I do take into account the fact that Mario sometimes makes minus EV decision-making in game management, and Golish consistently makes positive EV game decision-making. And that is why I've got USF plus 16.5. I don't know if the line's moved. But that's what
I had 17.5.
Okay, well, I'll take 17.5. I got it 16.5 earlier in the week. I'll take 17.5, definitely. Give me USF plus the points in a game where Mario may want to keep this, just pound the rock, chew the clock, just kind of mash them. And Mario may kick a couple of dumb field goals, and Golish may go for it a couple of fourth downs, that may keep this game closer than you think. And so I think 17.5 is plenty of points. I think they lose by 7 or 10.
Do me a favor.
That's my take.
Jake, just what was the score of this game matchup last year? Do you remember?
It was not very good, was it? Because I don't remember.
It was 50-15. Now again, that was Cam Ward. Yes, we heard about Charlie.
Yes, we heard of that.
Very sad.
It's a lot of sadness going on in the world, but we're here to take your mind off of it with some college football.
Yeah,
give yourself a little distraction. So it is
absolutely
very sad, but
50-15 was the score last year. And I don't know. Yes, that was Cam Ward, but I don't see where the difference is going to be. I think UCF is a great story, but let me tell you what, watching that team play last week against Florida there were a couple of touchdowns called back. There were opportunities Florida missed. That game should have been a 15-point victory easily for Florida. Easily. If Florida kicked themselves, they hurt themselves that game. And don't get me wrong, I love South Florida. I love the story. I love how they're fighting. But Miami just has better talent on both sides of the line. I think Carson Beck's going to get plenty of time to throw to those receivers. I don't see any way that Miami doesn't score 30, 35 points, and I just don't see UCF putting up that many points. My lock of the week, one of them is I'll take the 17.5 was the points I got. I'll give it away. I will take Miami. I'm going to lock fight you this weekend, baby.
All right, let's go, baby. Let's go.
I was 4-2 last week. I had a nice recovery. I'm now 500 for the year. Miami's one of my locks of the week.
I'm almost 500. Was it like I'm 6-8 for the year, so we're gonna get into the green this week. Trust.
So go
USF
go.
plus the points.
The U will take advantage.
I'm not predicting USF to win, by the way. In fact, I think they're not going to win. But 16.5, 17.5, too many points. Mario, keep it close.
Now, I will tell you this: the way that the USF does make this competitive and makes this interesting is if you can see them, if they can develop any kind of rushing attack, that's the sign of the game that Miami's in trouble. I think that's going to be it because they just have not. USF hasn't run the ball well this year, and so if they're getting some running, if they're getting any kind of running game, to me that's going to be the problem for Miami. And then, I'll be texting you real quickly, going, this is going to be a game," but I don't think that's going to happen. So
I'll be dialed into this game though for sure. I'm excited to watch. It'll be.
Hey, that's another CW special. We get the best announcing crew with no instant replays at all.
Who thought this was a good idea? Screw you, ACC, man. What are we doing?
Okay, this aside, I watched that Baylor SMU game on CW last week. I know you were at the game. Can they please show us an instant replay on the important? I mean, they literally take forever to show an instant replay. Now, granted, ESPN shows too many. They don't show enough on the CW.
Yeah, dude. So the ACC doesn't have any, they complained about not getting any good marquee matchups for like 5 years. This year, they got a million of them. And they're all on the freaking CW that they outsourced to that nobody watches.
I'm not sure I have the I need to look.
I don't even have cable TV. I don't know how to get the CW this weekend. I got to go figure that out. I might have to buy an old-fashioned over-the-air antenna and plug it into my TV.
Get it on Amazon, $10, $12.
Well, what are we, the Stone Age, bro? Put some rabbit ears on my TV? What are we doing?
Oh, goodness.
I haven't watched the CW since the Flash in 2014, all right?
I was thinking more of Dawson's Creek or One Tree Hill, but that's a whole nother.
All right, no. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, folks? All right, anyway.
All righty.
CW ran over. Let's move on. Where do you want to go next?
Speaking of Stone Ages, let's talk about a team that plays like they're back in the Stone Ages. They run the ball. Georgia Tech.
Oh, boy. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
The noon special. This one we've had circled on our calendars for a few months here. This game got a little spicy with how Clemson's been what they did last week and playing with their food with Troy. Clemson just hasn't looked good. I mean, their offense. They
have no run game at all. I don't know where they're getting that from. They have no running back.
Running attacks 128 out of 136 or 134 in the division FCS. I'm sorry. Yards per carry is 3 yards per carry. That's 124th in the country. Passing game, Cade Klubnik has been mediocre. They're 78th. I mean, they just really can't get anything going offensively.
Yep.
They got behind early last week. They were able to overcome Troy, but it was Troy. I'm concerned about this game. What are your concerns for this game?
My concerns are this. Is Haynes King going to be fully healthy? That's my concern.
Yeah.
If you watched any of the preview shows that we had, I am the biggest Georgia Tech guy there is. Brent Key all the way. I am huge Yellow Jacket guy. All right. I love what they're building down there. They're recruiting well, right? I love that they play tough and they play hard. And I just love everything about them. I love Aaron Philo, the backup. I think he's just that. He's that dude as a backup. So I'm big on Georgia Tech. I don't know if they're going to win this game, and I can't shake the feeling of watching Georgia Tech's defense get eviscerated by a Colorado quarterback that just got benched. That just nags at me, right? And so because of that, I can't necessarily pick Georgia Tech to win. I hope it happens, and I'm rooting for it. I did have this kind of pegged as one of Clemson's losses preseason, and so I think I'm going to stick with it. I think Georgia Tech wins this one, but I am going to take the plus 5.5. That's when I bet it. The line, I think it's now moved to 3.
It's 3.5. Yeah.
So if you're an early bettor and you follow me on Twitter, you would have gotten that a couple days ago, and you could have got your money in with better line. I'll take Georgia Tech plus 5.5. Give me those points. I think just the way that Georgia Tech plays and the lack of Clemson's ability to run the ball, I think Georgia Tech dominates on the ground. And because of that, I think they keep it close. And it'll come down to just the play in the fourth quarter, depending on who wins the game. I think it's one score going into the fourth quarter. And from that point, just I think whoever plays well. If Haynes King is fully healthy, we think he is. There's no reports to the contrary, but he was out last week. Haynes King is a dog. He is that guy. So if he's not fully healthy, who knows? But you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'll give me Georgia Tech. All right, give me Georgia Tech.
I don't know what to think here because all the signs are pointing towards Georgia Tech. I mean, they've been able to run the ball well. They're passing the ball well against, again, one was Colorado, one was Gardner-Webb. Clemson, there's nothing going right offensively. Even defensively, the rushing defense has been good, but the passing defense has been, I think, mediocre. Again, one of them was Garrett Nessmeyer. So I don't know that we've got the full book on Clemson yet. We just don't like some of the early warning signs.
Yeah.
And so everything's pointing to Georgia Tech, which means I think Clemson wins this game in a close battle. I think if we're going to get Clemson's best punch, it's going to be there. They haven't beaten. I don't remember the last time Georgia Tech beat Clemson. It's been it's been a number of years. I mean, they lost last year 21-42 Georgia Tech. The year before that was 41-10. So, and those were both Brent Key teams. So I think Clemson still has sort of Georgia Tech's number. I think this is going to be an interesting and fun game to watch. And I think Clemson finds a way to win the game. This is not a lock. I'm not betting it, but I think Clemson gets the ship righted this week.
Yeah, I could see it. And the scenario for me where Clemson wins is their wide receivers are better than Georgia Tech's secondary, and they take advantage of that completely. I don't get enough pressure on Klubnik. He can dice them up because when Klubnik is not pressured and just can sit there in the pocket, he can make throws, right? So they don't even need to worry about running the ball as much if they can just get on that Georgia Tech secondary, which Colorado did, right? Colorado passed for a lot against them. And Clemson has great linebackers and a good D-line. And, so I think they're built a lot more to stop the run than the pass. And if they use those linebackers and D-line properly, I think that's how they stop Georgia Tech's rushing attack. And then that's how Clemson wins the game. That's the scenario for me. I don't think it happens. Like I said, I got Georgia Tech, but that's how it would happen if Clemson comes out with a win on this one.
Yeah. That'll be a fun game to watch. That's a noon game. I'll be ready to watch that one. That'll be the start of a good day. So
me too. I'm excited for that one as well. Let's see what else we got. Also at noon, we got Wisconsin, Alabama. I think this is a get back game for Alabama. I think they obliterate them.
Yeah. And that's one of my locks of the week. Give me Alabama minus 20.5.
Okay.
I think you got two different levels of talent there. I mean, I know Alabama had an easy game last week. I don't expect it to be 73-0, but I think Alabama should win this one fairly easily. I don't expect this to be much of a challenge for Bama.
Yeah, fair. I agree. I'm not betting this one because I just get antsy about big spreads like that. I'm not feeling so confident in it, but I think Alabama cruises for sure. All right, what else we have? Well,
let's talk about another big SEC matchup this week. And
one of
the bigger ones. Let's go to Knoxville, where we're going to get the Georgia Bulldogs versus a ranked matchup. Georgia Bulldogs versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Tell me what you're seeing in this game.
So this game, what I've got in Georgia, Tennessee, is the fact that Kirby Smart owns Josh Heupel. And every single time they've played, Kirby Smart has outcoached him. Every single time. Heupel, for whatever reason, he can't get the run that he depends on in the offense. And that doesn't open up the deep shots. And for whatever reason, that his offense just seems to stall against Kirby. And I don't think it changes this year. I've got Georgia minus 6.5 or what? This line has come down a lot, I know. And that it's now
I
3.5, I think, isn't
it's
it?
a 4. I got a 4.5. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it came down and went back up. I got this earlier in the week at 6.5. The other side of getting earlier in the week bets. But I would continue to take it, and I think the reason for this is that Kirby Smart just has Heupel's number offensively. I don't know that we've really been proven that Joey Aguilar is actually that good a quarterback. I think Syracuse struggling with UConn in overtime shows that they weren't that good of a team that Tennessee beat up on. So his performance against Syracuse doesn't really mean much to me. I think Georgia's defense is elite, one of the best in the country. There's no arguing about it. They are, I think they're better than last year. They're not quite as talented as those 21, 20, 22 teams, right? But I think they're as close as they've been in a couple of years. I think they've got dudes all over, NFL draft picks all over it. And so I think Georgia's defense just shuts down Tennessee's offense. I know we've got some concerns in the Georgia offense with Gunnar Stockton and how good he's going to be and the depth of target and all that. But like, I just think that Kirby, he doesn't like a lot of these coaches when they're vastly outmatched these lower tier teams, they just don't reveal very much. And so I'm not so concerned about Georgia's offense. And I just think Georgia's the better team. I just don't think this is Tennessee's year, right? I don't think Joey Aguilar is necessarily that guy at the elite level. I think he's good to run the offense against teams that are worse than Tennessee. I don't think he's dynamic enough to lead them to a victory over Georgia. So I've got Georgia minus the points, lock of the week. That's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tennessee, you got to remember, Tennessee is not their primary goal is to run the ball. That's what their offense is built around. The running game opens up the passing game, and they like to take deep shots with the passing game. So, what is Georgia built to do? Georgia's built to stop the run. This is not, and that's why you go back the last couple of years, even with good Tennessee teams, Georgia's been the one team that has really just destroyed them. I mean, Tennessee can't. So that's when you say why Kirby's just built for it. It's not only just Kirby's built for it. It's the way the Bulldogs are built against the strengths of the Bulldogs defense and the strengths of the Tennessee offense don't match up because Georgia's going to bring that defense and it's going to crush Tennessee. To beat Georgia's, if you're going to beat Georgia's defense, you gotta open up the offense, and you're not going to be a run first team, and that's what Tennessee is. People think Tennessee's an air raid pass first team. No, they're a running team that then sets up the pass. You need to be a wide open, different kind of offense. If you
like Alabama last year that beat Georgia,
exactly, yes. And so this to me is just styles make fights. This is not a good style for Tennessee, and then I don't even think again, getting back to Joey Aguilar, I'm not even sure he's the right person for this. Now, on the flip side, the argument I'm going to make for Tennessee is, okay, so maybe Tennessee's not going to score a lot of points. You tell me how good Gunnar Stockton is. I don't think we know yet. I mean, Marshall and Austin Peay aren't good barometers. I think if you listen to Kirby's press conference last week, I don't know that he's thrilled with Gunnar yet. I think he's happy with his defense. I don't think they're thrilled with this offense yet. And is Gunnar going to be a liability for this team? He's not. He's not.
Don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is the thing.
Yeah. I think if you could give him, I think he looks and sees a healthy Carson Beck at Miami looking pretty good. And I wonder if Carson Beck, with the wide receiver upgrade they have, I wonder if Carson Beck would be better for this team. That's beside the point. I think Gunnar's good enough to win this game. And I think defensively, they're good enough to shut Tennessee down. Now, this is in Knoxville. This is going to be a hostile crowd. This should be an interesting game. I still think I've got Georgia. Georgia's one of my locks of the week. 4.5. I'll give the 4.5. I think they win the game. It may not be a blowout like in the past, but I think Georgia's better. And defensively, I think they're going to keep Tennessee they'll score enough points to beat Tennessee.
Yeah. Agree with you there for sure.
All right. Got a lot of interesting matchups this week. We might as well get to it in the SEC. Let's talk about it.
All right. What are we talking about?
Well, the fight in Death Valley, Billy Napier fighting for his job again as usual. I think
I think this is more of the Battle of Hastings than fighting for your job. It's the last stand.
So I don't even know where to start on this one. LSU wasn't very good last week on offense.
No.
Now I know their center went out right at the beginning of the game. That kind of messed them up. And I think then their guard the guard or tight end. I think it was their tight end left later. But if you look between that and the Clemson game, we gave a lot of the Clemson game. We said, well, okay, they won 70-10. They had a touchdown callback. Maybe that was okay. We just kind of explained it away as Clemson's defense. But maybe in those
Clemson's defense isn't that good.
Yeah, or maybe Clemson. So out of 2 games, I mean, do you know what what LSU's rushing for out of the country out of 2 weeks? They're 106th.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, their passing is 58. I mean, they're scoring 108. I mean, their offense isn't lighting anybody up. So if I'm Florida, I mean, there is a path?
No,
can you just let me
talk? Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm trying to tell you how the path for Florida to win. There is a path for Florida to win this game because I don't think LSU's offense has been that good. Now, the flip side is LSU defensively is much improved over last year. I think they've got the right people. Defensively, they've been pretty good. Again, stopping Clemson, maybe that isn't a hard task. On Florida's side, we've got to see more consistency from DJ. The receivers have got to stop dropping balls. I mean, that was a killer last week. The penalties killed them. I mean, I think if you cut some of that out, there is a path. Now, do I believe it's going to happen? No, I don't. I think LSU is going to win this game, and I'll give the 7.5 points to take LSU. But I think but everybody's quick to write off LSU. I mean, Florida right now. But there is a path here that they could go down and win this game.
Yeah, you're talking a lot about how there's a path and there's a way. That's true. There was also a path for Moses to lead the Israelites across the Red Sea, and that required divine intervention and a miracle from God parting the waves for there to be a path. So the path may exist, but absent divine intervention, they're not crossing it. I think, you mentioned all those downsides Florida. Well, what if they clean up the penalties? What if they clean up their drops? You know, that's part of Billy Napier's coaching that they should have done in the offseason.
Understand.
That's part of the package. You can't just write that off. Yes, LSU is a flawed team, clearly, but I just don't see. I don't see how Florida. Look, DJ didn't look great, right? Passing wise. Okay. He looked like he hadn't got a lot of reps with his receivers. It is another week and 2 weeks really like that much of a difference. And now you got Harold Perkins coming off the edge, who seems to have found his stride, right? And you know, Florida's supposedly got a good offensive line, but they haven't been able to block or pass protect very well. So I don't think Florida, I don't trust Billy Napier play calling. I think, you know, in Brian Kelly versus Billy Napier, and if you're in a competition, Brian Kelly is not always the best decision maker in games and leading, but he's a solid B+, right? Billy Napier's all over the place.
Well, let me just I'll tell it to you this way. Florida is really good at running the ball. That's the strength. That's one of the strengths of this team. And Florida gets Caleb Banks back this week on defense, their best defensive player. They're already good defensively. And LSU, while they're strong, they're improved defensively, they are one of the worst teams in the country in negative play percentages. I'm just telling you, there's a way here that you clean up some things from the previous week. It could happen.
It could happen. I just don't see it. I'm not betting this game.
I feel it, baby. It's going to happen. Come on.
I'm not betting this game because I don't trust either of these coaches to be consistent with anything.
How hot does the seat get if Brian Kelly loses to this Florida team?
Dude.
Oh,
I think both fan bases want both of these coaches shipped off to the West Coast or something. Throw them in the Gulf.
All I know is this is going to get your popcorn ready. This is going to be entertainment. But my gut tells me LSU wins this game probably by 2 touchdowns.
So. I think Nussmeier is the consistent. He's a veteran quarterback. He's a leader. He makes good decisions. When it comes down to it, I think Brian Kelly trusts him, and I think they'll go out and make plays. And they got good receivers. I put the trust out there. I'll take LSU. Not betting it, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. All right. Well, good. All right. Where do you want to go to next?
Well, I think there's an interesting matchup in the 8:00 slot for your second TV. Or I got
another TV, third TV, because Texas A&M and we got Florida, LSU, and the Texas A&M Notre Dame. What's my third TV?
Oh, right. Okay, this is your fourth TV.
Okay.
For those that have them. Actually, you know what? We'll go to this. We'll go to the 7:45 slot first. Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Oh, that's saucy.
This is a intriguing matchup to me, and the entire world is acting like. Well, I guess now the line has moved. It was Vandy plus 1.5 earlier, but now it's Vandy minus 4. Even though the line seems to have moved, I haven't seen anybody talk about the fact that Vanderbilt's been the much better team this season. South Carolina is still like 13 or something in the AP poll.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, don't get me started on the AP poll.
Oh, let's talk about that.
The AP poll controversy.
It's garbage.
We don't have enough time to discuss how bad the AP poll is. I don't even pay attention to the AP poll anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. That I don't even know like where people are ranked because it's not actually important to the game and who these teams are, right? Like I think Auburn, is in the 20s now? They got ranked somewhere. There's 6 teams inside the top 15. I think Auburn would beat. Like the AP poll is unbelievable. Half those people shouldn't even have votes. Don't get me started on the AP poll. Regardless of that, South Carolina is nowhere near as good as a lot of people think they are. And I think Vanderbilt's a much better team. I'm not betting it, but I think Vanderbilt wins this game. And I think it sets them up in the SEC to start looking like a dangerous team with some of the other teams that they may be playing against, that they may be able to knock off, who may be having down years. I don't think South Carolina is very good at all this year. I think that South Carolina has got 2 good individual players, but 2 good players does not a good football team make. And those 2 players, obviously Dylan Stewart and Lenore Sellers. But yeah, give me Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt. I don't think South Carolina's defensive line is deep enough, and their front 7 is good enough to block Vandy's rushing attack. And I think Vandy will run roughshod all of them. Just look at, they both played Virginia Tech, and Vanderbilt ended up, they were down at first. Vanderbilt ended up rolling away with it. So,
yeah. If you covered up the team names and look at the stat profiles, and you said which one do you think South Carolina, you'd be wrong because Vanderbilt looks impressive. Now, again, one of them was FCS, but when you just look at the Virginia Tech games, one team was very impressive at how they beat Virginia Tech. The other kind of got by with,
and if you watch both of those games, there's a physicality difference between Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech that just didn't seem to be there in the South Carolina game.
And it was on both sides of the ball for Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And it's a balanced approach. They're running the ball well. They're throwing the ball well. This is not one-sided offensively for Vandy. Yeah, now again, this is Williams-Brice Stadium on a Saturday night. That's not a fun place to stay. To play, that will be a challenge.
Yeah.
But right now, South Carolina, they, for all the hard time we give them about not having a passing offense, Lenore Sellers not passing the ball. They're not running the ball very well either. Okay.
Well,
they're 106th in passing. They're 101st in rushing. So what can you do then? What can you do well offensively? Not much.
Special teams, Beamer ball.
Yeah, that's Beamer ball is not going to get it done against Vandy. Vandy is a well-coached team. They've got veterans. They've gotten old and stay old. They're really good. I think this is. I think Vandy wins this game outright. It's not my lock of the week, but I do think they win it. And are we ready for a 5-0 Vandy team going to Alabama on October 4th? Are we ready? Because they're going to win the next 2 games. The next 2 games are Georgia State and Utah State. They're going to be 5-0 going to Alabama. And let me tell you what, that's going to be gold I mean,
Dude, you know what? We all laughed at Tommy Castellanos before the season saying, we're going to beat Alabama. They can't compete with us. And we all laughed. And then they did it. We all laughed at Diego Pavia saying Vanderbilt's going to compete for the SEC champion. Well, actually, he said they're going to win the SEC championship. Is it crazy to think that Vanderbilt could finish like third in the SEC?
what's even crazier, let's say they beat Bama. Then they get LSU and Missouri at home. Is there a real possibility they could be 8-0 playing at Texas November 1st?
Look, let's not get ahead of ourselves. They got beat South Carolina first. They're only favored by 4, right?
I think they beat South Carolina. Not betting it, but I think and that will be, again, my Saturday night. I got those 3 TVs lined up. I am looking forward to that. I don't know what the 4th TV is going to be on.
Well, you're going to be missing out on the Darian Mensah Bowl between Duke and Tulane.
Is that a night game? I'm not watching.
Yeah, it's a night game.
I may put the iPad on that one.
That's one of my locks. I've got Duke plus 2.5. I don't know why they're not favored against Tulane.
Yeah.
I think Duke's a much better team. They got a better quarterback. Give me Duke. What do you want me to say there? You're giving me Duke and points? Like, yes, that's definitely locking that up. Duke plus 2.5.
Let me give you, while we're still in the SEC before we get to the Big Ten, let me give you one of my other locks of the week. I can't believe I'm going to go with this team again. And if they burn me one more time, I will never bet them again. Ole Miss is playing Arkansas this week. I don't think Arkansas is very good. The line is 7.5.
I don't think Ole Miss is very good.
Yeah, and I don't know if Ole Miss is good, but I'm going to take that line 7.5, and I'm going to trust Lane Kiffin's going to pay attention to the bettors this week. Give me Ole Miss minus the 7.5.
Nah.
You can't beat Arkansas. You can't beat Arkansas.
Burned me last week, bro.
This is at home, Lane. If you can't beat them by 7.5 at home, I will never bet you again. Let me take Ole Miss.
All right, fair.
Okay.
Another bet that we're gonna do. This is the 10:30 game. We are fading Stanford until proven otherwise. Okay. Boston College minus 10.5. I got it earlier in the week. It's down to 13.5. I still like it at 13.5. I will be betting against Stanford until they cover every week. They are legitimate, like, bottom of the country performance in a Power 5 school. And I think some people are just not going to recognize that. And I think there's an advantage to be taken there. I could be eating my words. Stanford is bad. So yeah, Boston College minus 10.5 versus Stanford.
Okay.
I think that's easy cheese.
All right. Well, this weekend it is Backyard Brawl weekend.
Yes, it is, baby. And the sad thing is that this rivalry is going away until 2029 after this year.
Oh, are we going to get a few years?
Yeah, we're getting a few years off. It's a real shame. Like, I wish they would play rivalries like this every year. I wish we played the border war every year. I wish Pitt played Penn State. I wish a lot of things. I wish upon a star. No. But no, I'm excited for the Backyard Brawl. I think I am predicting chaos in this game, as in, like, neither one of these teams is very good. And so I think punches will be thrown. I think there's not, conference title hopes for really either of these teams. And so they're going to put it all out on the field for this game. And I'm predicting pandemonium. I think Pitt wins because I think West Virginia just lost to a MAC team.
Yeah.
So there's that. I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet the Backyard Brawl. If you put a gun to my head, I wouldn't bet this game.
I don't know. Again, hard to tell with West Virginia, the turnover in the roster, what we're expecting yet. To me, I think the strength is Pittsburgh's defense, especially the rushing defense. I think that's going to give West Virginia fits. I think Pittsburgh will be able to score enough points. Pitt's scored a lot so far this year on offense, particularly passing. They're 16th in the country. But again, who have they played? I think the level competition. I mean, Duquesne was one game. I mean, so it's hard to look at these stats, but I think it's probably enough. They've got enough offense to survive. And I think defensively, I think West Virginia is going to struggle. Again, I think Rich Rod will have this program up and running. Maybe by the end of the year, they'll be more competitive, just not right now. So
I also think West Virginia has one of the worst graded offensive lines in all of Power 5, and I think Pitt's front seven is pretty good. So I think that's
They
a
are.
big
I think
mismatch.
That's where this is going to be.
I mean, that's Pat Narduzzi's forte is the front seven, and
Yeah.
Pitt's O-line is goodness gracious awful. So I think Pitt wins, but expect shenanigans. It is the backyard brawl. I love I love featured rivalries like this, like just fun rivalry games. So this is why we love the sport, folks. Let's see, what else have we got?
What games are worth talking about? We've got a few other, people playing.
I am
Auburn is going full stormtrooper outfit this week for the first time, I think, in like 13 years or something ridiculous.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, at home at least.
Interesting.
So I always like cool uniforms.
Yeah. I've got New Mexico plus 15.5 versus UCLA. This is another fade pick. New Mexico, I think they've proven they can score. They scored on Michigan. Give me, I think UCLA is very bad. I don't think the Nico transition has gone very well at all. I don't think New Mexico wins, but you're giving me 15.5 points. I will take it. So give me New Mexico plus 15.5.
I've got one Big Ten matchup, first conference game of the year, USC Purdue. USC's a 21.
I wonder which side you're picking on this one.
Yeah, you know which side. Give me Jaden Miava and all the other USC guys that are lining up. I'll lay the 21.5. We'll see Purdue.
I can get you a 20.5.
Well, I'll take 21. I'll be okay with that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm riding that USC bandwagon. I think Nebraska and Illinois are fighting out for that fourth spot in the Big Ten and a possible playoff spot.
I think not picking a USC against Purdue is not a bad pick. Not at all.
But laying 20 or just money line? Because 20.
20.
I think they're laying 21 is pretty good. Anyway.
I think that's not bad. I think they'll probably light it up. I think Purdue's very awful. I don't think that says a lot about them necessarily in the SEC. Other fun facts, Oklahoma is going to Temple this year. They're playing at Temple in Philadelphia, which is super weird. They'll still annihilate. They'll still roll. But I think that's just a little 2-for-1. I love 2-for-1s. You get random like Oklahoma at Temple. Like what, fun.
Yeah, that's a crazy game. You've got stuff. Kansas State at Arizona in a big non-conference Big 12 game.
Yeah, the battle of mid.
Yeah. Well, Kansas State's good thing it doesn't count. Watch them lose the game, and it still doesn't count their non-conference. They're still going to be, they'll be 1-3 and only have one conference loss. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'm not really, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how Arizona starts the year off here. I think the other game that I think Oregon's going to play Northwestern. What's the line on that one?
27.5.
Yeah, that may not be enough for that line. That's
okay.
Not take more.
Are you betting that?
I don't know if I'm gonna bet that, but I think that's probably going to be pretty ugly for Northwestern.
I agree.
One game I think is going to be a little interesting. I had it here. Hold on a second ago. Minnesota, California. That's a Big Ten ACC matchup. Everybody, Minnesota's a decent Big Ten team. They're not bottom, but they're not the top. And I think California's gotten off to a decent start. That might be a little fun game to keep on one of the TVs there. California's got a freshman quarterback who's kind of lighting it up.
Yes.
I think that might be a fun game to watch.
I actually agree, and I've got Cal plus 2.5.
Yeah, I think that might be worth a fourth screen somewhere during the day.
And they have got the freshman quarterback. I'm gonna try.
Try it. I didn't even want to try it.
I'm gonna try it. All right. The freshman Cal quarterback, Jaron Kiowe Sagapolutele.
Yeah. We thought Uiagalelei
yeah.
pronounce.
Jaron Kiowe Sagapolutele. Sorry if I didn't say that right. He seems to be a unit. Like I gotta say, I've been watching highlights of him. I think they hit on that guy, and I think he's gonna look really good as the quarterback of Tennessee,
Miami, Texas
Oklahoma, somewhere next year.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Cal can afford to keep him.
Yeah, him and DJ Lagway will be in the portal, and DJ will probably be at Texas A&M. So
Yeah. So I think, give me Cal plus 2.5. That is all the bets I have this week. That is Cal plus 2.5, New Mexico plus 15.5, Georgia Tech plus 5.5, Georgia minus 6.5, Duke plus 2.5, Boston College minus 10.5, and USF plus 16.5. We're gonna get into the positive this week. Trust. We're going green. We're getting the green this week. It's gonna happen. That's where we're at.
Yeah, there's other games. I mean, I just like to watch Auburn. I always root for them.
Yeah, there's other games. We got some fun group of 5 matchups if you're into that sort of thing. App State, Southern Miss, I think could actually be a good game. You've got
Oregon State, Texas Tech could be interesting. I think Texas Tech should win.
yeah, it could be interesting.
We still don't know what Texas Tech really is yet, though. They haven't played enough good competition. We got a lot of teams yet that are still finishing up that sort of JV schedule.
Troy Memphis is an interesting game.
Troy Memphis will be a good game. Yeah. Bill and Mary play at UVA.
And we have a Thursday night game, NC State Wake Forest.
Yeah. Friday night's games are interesting. Colorado, Houston. That is a conference game, and I think Houston should be improved this year. So if you're 7:30 ESPN, and then if you're really late, if you want to see Nico continue to fall apart, New Mexico, UCLA, 10 p.m.
Yeah. If you don't have a life like me, you can sit down and watch Colorado, Houston on a Friday night and debate the merits of Colorado. And who their starting quarterback is and how good he will be. And
that's a mess.
And Houston and see how that goes. But
yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Nothing else. We will go back and then we'll be back either Sunday or Monday night to talk reactions. We'll figure that out later. So.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We just passed 35 subscribers on YouTube.
We need to get to 100 before the end of the year.
We are up to 36 subscribers, so we've gained 2 subscribers in the past week. Thank you, 2 new subscribers for subscribing. Everybody who watches this, make sure to like and subscribe and follow on all the social channels. I post clips on Instagram. I post Baylor propaganda on Twitter, along with college football memes and the occasional banger pun. So follow me on Twitter at RealHopster. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
And have a good night.
Good night.